Hello, BookTube. Well, it's the 1st of June, and boy, oh boy. Not only could June not have a better start to it than today, but summer couldn't have a better start to it than today. I know the solstice and the calendar and even Memorial Day, but like a lot of people, I think of June the 1st as the start of summer. And today is just unbelievably gorgeous. Just unbelievably gorgeous. It's a Victorian painting. It's a Bach partita out there. It's just beautiful. Uh, and we have a bunch of mail. And I naturally I look at a day like today, where it's the height of the day is going to be warm but not hot, and unbelievably beautiful and pleasant and quiet. Not quiet in the street sense. That's going to be staggeringly loud. I'll hope for just a couple of times where I have to simply stop talking and wait for it to go. That seems to be the average in a video, where I just stop twice in a video. Uh, not quiet in that way, but quiet in the other way. That everybody's just happy, peaceful here in the neighborhood because it's so beautiful. And naturally, when something is like this, I like to think that it's an omen. I know that superstition is ridiculous, but I like to think that this summer will go on the way it is. Now, I know that won't be true. If summer were like this from now until the dog days of August, you wouldn't hear a complaint out of me. You wouldn't hear a complaint out of anybody. But I think ferocious, life-endangering heat is on the way for Boston and everywhere else. I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. Last summer was bad enough for everybody else. But just as I'm hoping that this is an omen of the summer to come, with possibly one exception, it's possibly one exception yesterday, late in the afternoon yesterday, I was walking the bean, and I noticed that the air was full of white fluff, like the petals of an apple tree. So there was white fluff in the air, like a half-hearted but very lovely snowstorm on a bright sunny day. And I was walking through it, and I was thinking, well, this is really nice, but it's not over there, and it's not over there, it's just here. I wonder why we're so blessed. And then I saw the reason why. a red-tailed hawk had caught a rabbit, brought it to the top of a phone pole, and was systematically tearing it to pieces. Uh, Filling the air with fur and fluff and whatnot. And also, once I knew what to pay attention for, filling the air with cries of agony. But still, aside from that, I'm hoping that this is an omen of the summer to come. What I wouldn't give for a summer as lovely as last summer. But just as I'm hoping for that in terms of omens for weather, I'm also hoping in terms of omens for mail. So we are going to do the mail for today and hope that it's really good. We're going to hope that it blazes a trail for the rest of the month. For instance, we have the Martha's Vineyard Gazette, a broadsheet newspaper off the coast of, for the island off the coast of Massachusetts, where I am the book reviewer. I don't have a review in this issue, but I still read it just religiously from front to back. Just find out what the local stories are, what the local zoning board is doing. It's very much a local paper, including the books coverage, which is all vineyard-centric. It's either about the vineyard or it's by authors who live on the vineyard. But then for non-local, there's the New York Review of Books, which just came today. So I haven't read anything in it. I've just sort of glanced at it just a bit. I glanced, for instance, at the table of contents and saw that almost none of the books under review in this issue are books that are of interest to me. Almost none. Which you would think, well, then that means you're going to be disappointed in the issue. But no, I actually kind of like that. I like it when I don't have a dog in the race either way. I don't think that it should be a function of book reviews to convince you to read the book. I honestly don't think that's what book reviews are for. I've had this discussion with a number of book section editors who thought it was. You're not trying to convince anyone to read anything in a book review. You're trying to lay it on a table and show people what it is. If you love it, your review, I think, will have the inadvertent effect of convincing people to read it. But you're not a salesperson. And the editors at the New York Review of Books, they don't understand much, but they understand that. So this is going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to see a whole bunch of intelligent, smart, talented reviewers trotting around the block a whole bunch of books that either are of no interest to me at all, or might be of interest to me, but that have not crossed my path. That would be fun. But then we have some books, including one that I opened off camera that's coming out a long time from now, December. This is The Close-Up by Pip Drysdale. And I thought I'd show you this one just briefly, even though I opened it off camera, I don't. Okay, I have a sheet for it. This comes out in December, and it's by. I wish my name were Pip Donoghue. That's a great name. The novel centers on Zoe Ann Weiss, who moves to Los Angeles to pursue her dream of becoming a writer. But everything goes sideways when her love interest, Zach, a bartender and aspiring actor, ghosts her, and her debut novel, a thriller about a stalker, bombs. 3 years later, Zach has become a famous movie star, and Zoe is way overdue to write a second of her 2-book deal. Suffering from writer's block, she's wasting time at a dead-end job at a flower shop. But when she goes to make a delivery and runs into Zach, they reconnect and start dating in secret. Zoe has a hunch that she might find story inspiration from a relationship with a megastar. When paparazzi photos land her in the press, her first novel gets buzzed about on social media, and now everyone seems to know her name, which puts her in the crosshairs of a mysterious stalker obsessed with Zach. Life imitates art as the stalker threatens Zoe by carrying out violent scenarios that are ripped from the pages of her novel. Okay, so the only way, I won't be getting to this until December, but the only way that Pip Drysdale could disappoint me in this book, I'm willing to allow her dumb writing. I'm willing to allow her a no end to the book, where the book just stops but doesn't end. I'm willing to allow her all the things that I grant now to contemporary fiction. The one thing she can do in this book, with the plot I just read you, to lose me completely as a reader, is if the stalker who's patterning crimes ripped from the pages of the main character's novel turns out to be the main character. If that turns out to be true, I will hurl the book from me in disgust. But what are the chances of that? They're no more than 50%. It's no more than 50% chance that she'll do that. So here's hoping. I won't need to worry about it until the winter. Then we have manila envelope. We have a couple of boxes here, big boxes. But let's get the manila envelope done first and see what this is. What is this? Oh, it's a big, heavy thing. Big, heavy finished copy of something. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. All right, I asked I had to request a finished copy of this. Didn't look like I was going to get one on my own. This is Southern Man by Greg Iles, and this is the big finished copy with embossed letters on the cover. Fantastic. Just great. All right, I need to get to work on this then. I've already read it. I thought it was really impressive. Let's see here. 15 years after the events of the Natchez Burning trilogy, which I strongly recommend to you, Penn Cage is alone. Nearly all his loved ones are dead, his old allies gone, and he carries a mortal secret that separates him from the world. But Penn's exile comes to an end when a brawl at a Mississippi rap festival triggers a bloody mass shooting, one that nearly takes the life of his daughter Annie. As the stunned cities of Natchez and Bienville reel, antebellum plantation homes continue to burn, and the deadly attacks are claimed by a black radical group as historic acts of justice. Panic sweeps through the tourist communities, driving them inexorably towards race war. And this was terrific. The main thing about these big, sumptuous novels of Greg Iles, I don't know what to call them. They're not really mystery novels. They're not really police procedurals. They transcend those things. The real thing about them, the real thing that any of you who've read the Natchez trilogy will know, and certainly it's true in this book, is that they wear their length lightly. You really don't notice. You want there to be more. So that's great. That's great to have that. Then we'll do the first of the boxes. I noticed when I was moving them over here to the fainting couch, which I might point out I had to do on my own. So pity me. I had to move this over on my own. A whole 10 feet. I was by myself except for the little bean, and the little bean has no opposable thumbs, so she couldn't help me. I was noticing, though, that although this is a box, it's fairly light. Oh, great. Okay. All right. I requested this as well. This is a finished copy of Charles Taylor's book, Cosmic Connections. Great. From the folks at Harvard, yes? Yeah, the Belknap Press of Harvard University Press. Again, not sure why I'm needing to go through the formality of requesting finished copies, but I'll happily do it for the books I want to take a deeper look at. So I don't have a sheet for this, but let's just look at what this is. In this book, the author continues his exploration of romantic and post-romantic responses to disenchantment and innovations in language. Reacting to the fall of cosmic orders that were at once metaphysical and moral, the Romantics used the symbols and music of poetry to recover contact with reality beyond fragmented existence. I thought they just wrote poems, but what do I know? They sought to uncover disenchantment, to overcome disenchantment, and groped toward a new meaning of life. Their accomplishments have been extended by post-Romantic generation into the present day. This magisterial work takes us from Holderlin, Novalis, Keats, and Shelley to Hopkins, Rilke, Baudelaire, and Eliot, Milosh, and beyond. And I thought this was tremendously good in my first read-through. I'm glad I have the finished copy now. I will go at this a second time, and this time bear down on it in more detail. That's great. Okay, great. I want to review both of these. Good to have finished copies of both of them. And then we have the second box, which is fairly heavy. I think this might be from one of you. I think this might be an entirely sanctioned violation of rule number 1. Yeah, see, it's fighting like the Battle of the Bulge. Usually, books sent by publishers do not fight like this because publishers usually don't overpackage things. Let's see what we have here. Oh yes, okay. Oh my, oh how much fun. Okay, great. This was sent by one of you. One of you had a bunch of secondhand books and sent me pictures and said, is there anything here that you want? Now, you all know, most of you know, my response to blindly sending me books that you get at a library sale or a used bookstore. Don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. That's rule number 1 on this channel. Don't send me a book blind. The chances of you getting, of that working, of you sending me something that I not only don't have but want, are infinitesimal. There are only 2 people in the world who can do that with anything like a chance of success, and you aren't one of them. But if you have a stack or a stash of books, plenty of you have done this, and you want to know if you can send me them, send me pictures, and I might squeal. And I squealed at a few of these, so let's see. There's a bunch of stuff here. Well, anyway. Oh my, oh how wonderful. All right, this is Bertrice Small. This is All the Sweet Tomorrows. A big hardcover of hers with this luscious, is this a Skye O'Malley book? Let's see. Yes, it is. This is a Skye O'Malley book. In the lusty, full-blooded world of Elizabethan England, no woman had such commanding beauty or so fiery a will as Skye O'Malley. Widow of one of England's highest lords and head of a seagoing Irish clan, Skye had dared to oppose the great Elizabeth Tudor herself. For a brief moment she had known happiness with her one great love, but now he's dead, the victim of treachery, and Skye must struggle to protect the fortune of their infant son. Risking imprisonment in the Tower of London, she sets forth from Ireland to bargain with her old enemy, Queen Elizabeth. But the Virgin Queen has a heavy price to extract from this woman of many passions. Now, I want to know, this came out in 1984. I love these books. Just love them. They're really good historical fiction, too. They don't let the bodice-ripping exterior fool you. Fantastic to have this as a hardcover. I have one other Skye O'Malley as a hardcover. I don't want these things in the crappy little mass-market paperbacks that I've often seen them in. What's the other one that I have? I wonder if this will even tell me. Does it give me a list of Skye O'Malley books? No, it gives me the list of all of her children. But it doesn't give me a list of her books. Well, anyway, fantastic. How wonderful. So what is this? What is the next one here? Oh, right. Okay. William Sheridan Allen's book, The Nazi Seizure of Power. This is a trade paperback, and I remember these trade paperbacks don't hold up well, but I don't have a copy of this book, and there is not currently a copy of this book at the Brattle, I think, in hardcover. I don't think there is. Fantastic. This is terrific. Really good, bare-knuckled depiction of how the Nazis actually took over. So that's great. This next one's in a bag. Why would this be in a bag? Oh, all right. Well, this is one of the books that I squealed about. I don't know why it's in a bag. Oh, God, I hope it's not delicate. Delicate books are a waste of time. Look what we got here. What is going on here? I will explain all. Oh, my. Oh, how wonderful. All right, this is a book by Gilbert John Miller. This is Tudor Mercenaries and Auxiliaries. And the sender sent a note saying, look at the title page for surprise. And when you get to the title page, it turns out that this is a signed copy. This was sent by the author to the original recipient, and now I have it. And this is also terrific. I want to show you. This is well illustrated with what we can know about the weaponry and the practices of mercenaries in the Tudor era. So that is fantastic. That is a Tudor book, a nuts and bolts Tudor book that is worth having. But there's more here. What is... It's okay. We have instant Irish accent mouth spray. I assure you I can do an Irish accent without a mouth spray. But then what is... Uh-oh. Okay, there are more books in the pile. I asked for these 3. There are more books in the pile, and they do violate rule number 1, which is why they are designated the asking for forgiveness pile. Oh, all right. The rest of the stuff that we're going to look at is stuff that is violating rule number 1. So let's just see. So this first one is King of the Wind, a Newbery Award-winning novel about a horse by Marguerite Henry, with illustrations by Wesley Dennis. So it is illustrated all throughout. There are illustrations all throughout this thing. And it's the story of a horse. Okay, well, I don't know it at all. So that's at least a start. I might like it. What have you... Oh my God, what else is here? What did you do? You people are so generous. All right, there's a bag containing these others. This is a really good packing job. The individual bagging of groups of books was clearly designed to stop them from sloshing all around the box. So what have we got here? Oh, wow. Okay, this is Louis L'Amour. This is the Bendigo Shafter. So look at that cover. Incredible. It's incredible. Oh, it wraps onto the back, too. Look at that. Just the awe-inspiring wilderness, the trails west, the herds, the Native Americans, and him. Just hanging out there. What else have we got here? Okay, Louis L'Amour. Another Louis L'Amour. This is The Tall Stranger. I've never seen this cover for it. We've seen this cover design before. I have a couple of these, but I've never seen this for the Tall Stranger. That's pretty nice. Don't have that. What is next? Okay, here's Hondo. Also by Louis L'Amour, also in this particular faucet design here. There we have 2 young men. Well, I assume they're fighting? This would be a rather of a narrative departure for Louis L'Amour if they're doing the first thing that came to my mind. So it's probably that they're fighting. Let's see, what else is in here? Good Lord. I wasn't expecting this. Here, let's tear this apart. Don't need to be neat about it. Oh, wow. Oh, my. Okay, this is a Gunnar Ash novel. I wonder how many of you will know this. This is by Hans Kirst, translated from the German by Robert Key. This is Forward Gunnar Ash, with this great old vintage cover. I don't think I've ever seen this. I wrote an essay about this guy. I'll try to remember to leave a link to it down below. I'll have to find it and clean it up. These are really interesting novels, provocative novels now. I think they were meant to be provocative at the time. This came out in the 50s, right? 1956, yeah. They were meant to be provocative at the time. They're even more provocative now in today's censorious age. That's amazing to have a Gunnar Ash paperback. Okay. Oh, what is this? Okay. This is by Agatha Young. It's a novel called The Hospital. I don't think I've ever read Agatha Young. An old-fashioned world. Sue Ward is the first woman doctor allowed to practice at a prestigious New England hospital. There's only one prestigious New England hospital. Are you going to tell me that it's that, or did you make up a hospital of your own, my darling? Joseph Linkleiter Memorial Hospital. Okay. I'm assuming that's Mass General. Alone, isolated by the staff, shocked by their inhuman prejudices, she carves her own rules for the future. This is by the author of someone who wrote I Swear by Apollo. I don't think I've ever heard of this author. How amazing. Okay, all right. Let's just keep going here. Oh my goodness. This is by Peggy Gaddis, and it is called The Courtship of Nurse Jeannie Hayes. It was originally titled Island Nurse. So is she on an outpost somewhere? To Jeannie Hayes, sent to nurse its crippled owner, the tiny island called Rayford Cay looks like paradise. But the enchanted spot had its share of serpents. Janice Burton, Henry Rayford's lovely ward, was consumed with jealousy of the new nurse, and the patient himself was a source of worry and confusion. What was the mysterious ailment that confined him to a wheelchair, and why did he refuse to see his wife and son? Jeannie discovered that the unhappy family of Rayford Cay needs her understanding and tenderness as a woman even more than her skill as a nurse, and she gave both freely. Am I sensing Garbogast? Am I being set up for Garbogast here? Oh, let's see here. Oh, great. All right. This was one of the ones I asked for. Okay. So we have violations of rule number 1 mixed in with things that are not. This is by J. Kent Clark, and it's called a historical novel called The King's Agent. One of these great old hardcovers with these paper covers to them. As a special agent to King James II of England, Ralph Barnard found himself in a peculiar and dangerous position. Although he disagreed with the reckless policy of his monarch, as who couldn't, he believed that he could best serve England in his employ. Good luck, bub. Some people thought that in the reign of James's brother, and they were rudely disillusioned. He lived in an age of change, and the religious and political intrigue of the period caught him up and carried him into exile in France when William of Orange was assumed the throne of England. And that's what's going to happen. Unless you sign up, syphilitic pretty boy Monmouth, that's what's going to happen. You're going to think, well, the man need not impress me. I will serve the country. And you're going to end up in a foreign world. You're going to end up in exile or dead. Okay, the confusion of Monmouth's rebellion and the consequent bloody diseases under the supervision of the hated Lord Chief Justice Jeffreys and the fateful Battle of the Boyne achieve a startling immediacy as moments of history as Ralph Barnard lived through them. And the author, J. Kent Clark, is the associate professor at the California Institute of Technology. His long interest in this period and careful study of it have resulted in a remarkably accurate and lively story. So is this his debut novel? Did he ever write any other fiction? Was he at his university for non-literary post? This is from 1958. Fantastic. Okay, but we're not done yet. There's more in here. I'm digging around here. Okay, all right. Okay. You did ask for forgiveness. This is by Ken Anderson, and it is called The Doctor's Return. And it's a Zondervan publication, so there's going to be a bit of God bothering in here. This came out in 1942 and was picked up by Zondervan, I think, in the 1960s. I don't know what to make of this. And, it doesn't have any material on it at all. The back is just a list of other books. No idea what to make of it. Do we go on from here? There's one last thing in here. This is a magazine from when do I want to say? The 1950s? You might not even tell me. Magazines are a different kind of animal. 1952. This is 1000 Jokes magazine. And the headline article by Imogene Coca is alarmingly called Inside Caesar. No, thank you. Is that what all this is? Oh my God, it's just a magazine full of cartoons. Well, okay, so the sender must have picked this because they know that I'm a huge fan of New Yorker cartoons. And Punch cartoons and a whole bunch of others. This is actually fascinating. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, not that I want to collect ephemera. I very much don't want to collect ephemera. Old magazines are definitely off limits here. But there you go. Wow. Okay. All right, well, if this is an omen of how the mail is going to go in June and maybe the whole summer, we couldn't have started better than this haul. How am I going to do a Steve pyramid of all this stuff? I don't know how it's going to work. Well, we've got two huge hardcovers: Cosmic Connections and Southern Man. I haven't written reviews of either one of these yet, but I can tell all of you these are really good. They're well worth your time. They're probably expensive. Oh yeah, Southern Man is $36, and Cosmic Connections. Oh, this is gonna hurt. $37. So you've got those. You've got the close-up in which I hope the author in the book didn't do it. What else? What else have we got? Didn't we have another new book? Am I just missing the other new book? I thought we did. Well, it doesn't matter because we have a lot of old books. We have Tudor Mercenaries. Signed copy of Tudor Mercenaries. We have another Bertree Small. Does this mean that this summer I might expect to find a lot of her Skye O'Malley novels in these old hardcovers? That would be great. We have King of the Wind, a boy's own story about a boy and his horse. We have The King's Agent by J. Kent Clark. I'm going to have to look him up. Sounds like he had a fascinating life. We have The Doctor's Return, an old, probably very clean romance. We have The Nazi Seizure of Power. This is wonderful. I admit it's a placeholder book. I really want a hardcover of this, but I'll take it. Definitely take it. Then a bunch of mass market paperbacks. We have The Hospital by Agatha Young. I'll have to look her up, too. We have The Courtship of Nurse Jeannie Hayes. We have Bendigo Shafter in a Louis L'Amour format, a Louis L'Amour design that I've never seen. I didn't know that was ever done. I'm becoming kind of a connoisseur of Louis L'Amour designs. I've never seen a book that looked like that one. Then Hondo with this cover where one of these characters, the character with the gun, is telling the other character not to mess with his 70s hairstyle. He's got the Sean Cassidy hair going on. He doesn't want it messed up. And The Tall Stranger in a battered paperback that will finally reach its final roundup with me. And Forward Gunner Ash by Hans Helmut Kirsch. That is amazing to have that, to revisit this author after all the time. It's been 15 years or more since I wrote a long piece on him. Plus 1,000 jokes. Inside Caesar. So that's great. I mean, maybe not the headline title, but the magazine is terrific. It doesn't feel to me like it will last through much. I don't think that I will be able to keep this. But it's kind of amazing that I have it at all, right? This late in the game, 70 years after it came out, it's kind of amazing that I have it at all. So we'll see. I'm interested to know about it. And there you go. That is the mail. For the last mail for this week, Saturday mail. I doubt there'll be any mail on Sunday. But we have started June off really, really well. So I'm all smiles. Thank you very much to the viewer who sent all these things. Much appreciated. I think, since you're obviously going to want to know, just on my initial reaction now, I think the thing that will almost certainly get read first out of this whole pile is All the Sweet Tomorrows by Bertree Small. Pretty sure that it will. I'll put a dust jacket over it and read it tonight. I'm pretty sure it will go on the pile. But anyway, I could be wrong about that. I will report back, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, BookTube.